manage to get over this economic crisis situation, and I hope that IBM can help you through our technologies and solutions to contribute towards this direction. My topic is to talk about cognitive. What is cognitive? Is it advanced analytics? Is it a product? Is that a solution? I will try by the end of this session to explain to you what is IBM's point of view on cognitive, why it is important for the world, why it is important for IBM, and also I will try to demonstrate, hopefully, to this humanoid, some functionality that goes with it. Now, I am leading cognitive solutions for Europe in IBM, and I lead a team across Europe. And for IBM, let's put things into perspective. We are on a third generation and third era of computing. The tabulating era, that was until the 50s, then programmable era, and remember, the programmable era was started by IBM. It was the first company that introduced the concept of programming and operating system. And now we are we're at an infancy stage, at a very early stage of what we call the cognitive era. What is the difference between the programmable era and the cognitive era? Remember one key thing. There is no programming in the cognitive era. And the cognitive era, that I will explain later, it already started disrupting virtually every industry and every business in the world. Some companies are talking about digital strategy. No, there is no such a thing. When you go to your boardroom, when you talk to your boss, when you talk among your stakeholders and your shareholders, talk about your strategy in a digital world. There is a tremendous difference between what is digital strategy and the strategy in a digital world. Think about Tesla or Uber that was mentioned by Andrei before. They created a disruption in their industries by introducing totally different business models. How have they done this? They did not build or leverage on existing technologies. They introduced totally new ways of working, new products, new services by doing a disruptive change on their strategy by just understanding what the digital world wants. So what's the difference between humans and cognitive systems? Because there is an ongoing debate, and this is not new. It started since the 70s, when artificial intelligence started evolving. What is the difference between humans and cognitive systems? There are things that humans will always excel, like common sense, sometimes with biases, but it's common sense. These things do not have common sense. They are not supposed to. We have morals as humans. We have imagination. We have compassion. We have dilemmas that we need to take a decision based on feelings, based on ethics, based on things that are not being managed by computers. Abstraction. Sometimes we dream. Sometimes we generalize because it's much more convenient to generalize rather than just to be specific. Cognitive systems are very capable in locating knowledge. They can read millions of scientific journals and spot the right information and put this into context without biases. They can create patterns, and they can also learn. This is a key word in cognitive. It's machine learning. The more you interact with them, the more you use them, they become more knowledgeable, like human beings. the more you teach a kid how to read, how to understand, how to communicate, but it takes time. So one thing that you have to remember, cognitive is not a product. It is not something that is done overnight. You need to invest the time and the courage and the people to teach the machine, and it takes time. It's not a one-month thing. It does not have a start and an end. It's a journey. It's a cognitive journey. So, cognitive systems are not here to replace humans, as some people are claiming that this is the case. Cognitive systems are here to partner with humans and augment, boost, help, and strengthen their capabilities to take better decisions or collaborate. So, cognitive systems are different from the programmable era in the sense that they can see, like this thing here. They can use and operationalize virtually any data, and 80% of our data is unstructured. It's video, it's images, it's voice, in social media, that we don't make full value of them. But in our world, the immediacy, the customer experience resides in this data that we cannot see. And that's why cognitive is not analytics. Analytics is a building block of cognitive, but it's not just advanced analytics. And are not programmers, as I said before, but they pose hypotheses on data patterns and probability. They give you an answer with a certain degree of error. And they are supposed to answer ambiguous problems, not definite problems. They can understand, they can reason, learn, and interact with humans in a natural way. This is what cognitive is all about.
In a moment, I'm going to introduce you to a multi-talented brilliance. What if I told you there's a person who has read just about every medical textbook and journal out there and uses that knowledge to diagnose medical mysteries, but also has collaborated as a fashion designer on a dress that was worn by a supermodel at the Met Gala, has helped produce the movie trailer for a major feature film. Oh, by the way, is also a published cookbook author, has a budding career as a weather forecaster, and did I mention, won a huge tournament on Jeopardy, even beating Ken Jennings. That last part might have been the giveaway. I am not actually talking about a person, but a machine. Meet Watson, IBM's tech platform that uses artificial intelligence and machine learning in extraordinary ways. That list of Watson's accomplishments actually scares many who worry that computers are not powerful enough to do almost any human job. I went down to IBM's Watson Center in downtown Manhattan to talk about it all with IBM's Chairman, President, and CEO, Ginny Rometty, who is also a multi-talented brilliance. IBM is, of course, one of the world's largest companies with a market cap over $140 billion. Welcome, Ginny Rometty.
Thank you, Reed. Nice to be here with you again.
Explain to us the road to Watson. How did we get here? What is happening in technology that led to this?
This is a great question, and it speaks a lot to what I think everyone is experiencing around the world, either personally or in a business. You know, there have been three big technology trends, I think, shaping our lives. One, cloud, mobility, and then all this explosion of data around us. You have this explosion of information, it is impossible to understand it. And this was the road to Watson. We saw this long ago, that there would be all this data, but for it to really bring any value to business or to the world, to solve these unsolvable problems, you were going to need a whole new way of computing, of systems, that could take that and make some sense out of it. You know, if you just think about, go back 20 years, and retail, you were online buying something, you were a typical retailer, not typical, big one, you might have had 500,000 things you could look at. Today, 20, 25 million. So as you as a buyer, how could you even discern what is the right thing to do? And that's just one small example. So this is what has led us to Watson, this idea that this explosion of information, and that once you become digital, you're going to need some way, data is going to differentiate companies then. And how do you make sense of it? That led us to this world, which was Watson, which is basically, think of it as the ability for systems to learn.
How is Watson different from your average computer?
Well, it's very different, and I want you to not think of it as a computer. Think of Watson in this new world of cognitive. Think of it as it's in the cloud, so therefore it's applicable to everyone, and think of it as being embedded in everything that you produce. So it'll impact your daily life, it'll impact your business. And so when you think of it that way, as a service that can be embedded, it'll touch billions of things, billions of people, and billions of things that they do, basically to help you make a better decision, whether that's personally or whether that's professionally.
So let's take medical, because Watson does a lot of medical work. Explain to us why Watson is a better doctor than most doctors.
I wouldn't say it that way. What I really envision, and this is an important point about cognitive, its goal is not to replace anyone. In fact, it's really been our goal. It's been about not artificial intelligence, it's about augmenting intelligence and helping people make better decisions. And that's in fact what we're doing. And so, I mentioned we do work, and I see this era doing work for both what you would call everyday decisions, as well as what I would call solving the unsolvable. And you mentioned healthcare.
But let's take a diagnosis.
Yes, so here's how it would go with the diagnosis. So cancer, the cancer oncology advisor is rolling out, been developed, and Watson's been taught by some of the best institutions in the world, Memorial Sloan Kettering, the Cancer Center here in New York. But as well, work we've done with Cleveland Clinic, Mayo Clinic, MD Anderson, clinics abroad, systems abroad. So what a doctor would do to assist, Watson will have been able and has read all the literature on cancer, all the journals, all the texts, your EMR, your medical record, which could be hundreds of pages long, your tests. And what it's going to do, when I said it can understand and reason, just like you and I, forms hypotheses, checks against all the data, knows what % confidence, and then shows the doctor, these are the different kinds of ideas around what the diagnosis is and the appropriate treatment.
But the key difference is, correct me if I'm wrong, because you showed this to me once, a doctor can hold maybe a couple hundred articles in his or her head.
That's right.
And Watson is looking at 2 million.
We're well over millions and millions.
But let's be honest, presumably with access to millions of articles and that much data, Watson must make better diagnoses than an average doctor.
It's going to help an average doctor, absolutely. And that is really the point, because you won't necessarily be able to see a world-class oncologist, but your oncologist or your general doctor is going to have that access to help them do their job. And then they actually can do what we want our doctors to do. They spend time with you and understanding you. I mean, an average doctor visit, as you know, can be a very small period of time. And so that's why I say this is really a world where it's going to augment what professionals do and what each of us do.
Now, in the movie business,
that was 4 days ago on Sunday, September 18th, in CNN, an interview from Ginny. We will not show it all, but certainly you've got the idea that cognitive is a huge chapter in IBM strategy. IBM is betting its future, and we're a 105-year-old company, on cognitive, and our customers are trusting IBM for their cognitive journey. Now, I need to distinguish what is analytics and what is cognitive, because some people, even competitors, are claiming that they do understand, or they are into cognitive, or that they have cognitive solutions to sell to our customers, to you. I would say that there's a key difference between analytics and cognitive, in the sense that analytics belongs to the programmable era. It addresses very predefined kind of problems, and you expect to get an accurate and definite answer. In cognitive computing, we do not address very specific problems. We're asking questions, and we get ambiguous questions, and we get some responses that are fundamentally they have an element of error possibly, and the machine improves and gets better and better as you interact with them, like in the healthcare sector that you've seen before. The medical doctor uses the Watson healthcare to help the doctor make a better diagnosis, but it does not mean that Watson will replace or will take a decision on behalf of the doctor. It's just it has the capability to handle information in a much bigger volume and much faster than human beings. And that is why Jimmy said that Watson will help professionals augment, boost their decision-making capabilities, faster and better decisions. And of course, we need, and we are at an infancy stage on this topic, we need to make better machines that humans can you hear me? I hope that you can hear me. So that we interact in natural language. What we hear is not natural language. So, Andrei and Pekko before mentioned about the challenges that, there are competitors coming out of nowhere. Competitors are not those companies that we know. Competitors are probably coming, and our biggest threats are coming from inventors, disruptors in the market, digital invaders that we don't know them very well, or we have not yet seen them because our radar is focused to evolve our way of doing business rather than rethink and outthink, as Penko said, our ways of working, our ways of strategizing. Uber syndrome. I will not spend more time on this. It has been already covered, Uberization syndrome. Just think this question by the end of this day today. What should be the Uberization phenomenon in my company? What things should I do differently to come up in 6 months, in 1 year, in 2 years, with a drastically different and disruptive way of promoting my services or creating new businesses that will get my competitors by surprise? If you are not doing it, I'm sure your competition is doing it. And we can help on that. And this is what our customers are trusting us. And tomorrow disruptors, those companies that will thrive and will be very successful in the next 5 to 10 years, are those companies that they can converge digital business with digital intelligence. Digital intelligence means analytics. So the cognitive business is this conversion. Let me show you another video from Oli. Oli is a vehicle that is ready in the market. It has been just launched in July this year. Let me just introduce you to Oli.
Hello everyone, thanks for having me this evening. I'm Jay Rogers. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Local Motors, and I'm sitting in an Ollie. Ollie is the first self-driving cognitive vehicle, and it is super exciting to have the training wheels off on this amazing technology. Today we launched Ollie in National Harbor, Maryland, on a beautiful day with 250 attendees, and this is a huge day in automotive history. Not only is it the day where Ford Motor Company was incorporated June 16, 1903, but also it's the day where we got people comfortable with the idea of riding around in a completely self-driving vehicle. His name is Ali. Why don't I have him introduce himself? Ali, why don't you say hello?
Hi everyone, my name is Ali. I'm a self-driving vehicle powered by IBM Watson technology. I can help people get around National Harbor.
Thanks, Ali.
Thank you, Jay. By the way, I like your bow tie.
That's great. Ali, I'm hungry. Where can I get some food?
National Harbor has some great seafood. Would you like that?
That sounds great. What's good?
Well, try the Crab Cake Cafe.
All right, I'll go there for dinner.
Okay, but don't forget your umbrella. There is a severe thunderstorm warning tonight.
All right, I will, thanks. So what you just saw was me conversing with Ali, which makes my life better as somebody using transportation here in National Harbor. And that natural language and structuring of otherwise unstructured data was super real. There is a real thunderstorm this evening, and Ali was letting me know. And I'm riding and interested in where I want to go to dinner. And if you can think about that as just a little nugget of what it means that I don't have to take my phone out of my pocket in order to be able to try to structure data out of a lot of different inputs that are there, but rather using the power of Watson IoT in order to be able to take a lot of the inputs that are out and around me that I wouldn't even be thinking about and make my ride in an ollie even better. That's the power of getting things done quickly. And really what's meaningful to us is that we started on this project 3 months ago. And 3 months ago doesn't mean we made a prototype. We sold our first 10 ollies today. And so the ability for us to be able to go from an idea with a community-designed vehicle and put it to rights and make it in a 3-month period of time and then sell vehicles and move in sparks up our microfactories and makes it possible for us to make this great technology come to life. It's been
That's cognitive. 3 months and it's out in the market. This is disruption. Now, I want to make clear one thing. Cognitive is just at the beginning. We are at an infancy stage. And this is good. That means that cognitive will be done by you, by IBM, by your customers. It's a journey. I'm not here to prescribe to you what to buy and what to do in your company around cognitive. And I'm 100% sure that cognitive will be the future. It's just that, some people of you, some of these, you might think that, okay, but this is for, advanced economies or advanced societies that don't have our economic challenges, and it's not for a country like Ukraine or Greece or Bulgaria or Russia. Wrong. This is for everyone. It's just that you have to draft your journey. This journey needs to be crafted. Now, you might think that the various milestones, the pace of implementing your journey, and what you will put in the journey as key milestones might be different from company to company and from country to country. But every country, every company, every organization is into it. So one of the things that I want to leave with you is that